We've had a couple of really, really interesting calls and emails this week from some lawyers in Johannesburg asking some really pertinent questions about their careers. And I thought I'd share them with you now and share the answers and the advice that I gave as well. So the first one was someone up in Johannesburg that works in law, specifically in a very niche area of insurance. And the question really was, the question was how to take a next step and what that person should really be looking for. But it actually turned out to be a little bit more detailed in terms of the conversation. It turns out that this particular lawyer working for a relatively small law firm had been promised a move and a more senior opportunity within the firm. You know, obviously that's something that gets offered to lawyers quite often, and it's great if it works out. But in this case, this would have involved the managing partner leaving the city that they're in and moving to a different city, and this particular person taking over as head of that office. What an amazing opportunity. Well, it sounded good, but the managing partner didn't move, and it's still there. So sadly, that's not come to fruition. So you're dealing with a lot of disappointment there. You know, false promises. I'm sure that the managing partner had all the good intentions to really fulfill that opportunity for this person, but it didn't come to pass. So you're dealing with a very disappointed lawyer who's now starting to look elsewhere. The second issue that we discussed was the fact that their area of expertise is very niche, very, very niche indeed. And that makes it harder to move out of. So what we discussed was complementary areas, whether it's in finance or whether it's in legal services or whether it's in law. You know, this person has got to look at complementary areas that are related to the field that they're in. And then lastly, we discussed the opportunity of staying within that niche area and actually moving to a bigger firm with more options and more opportunities and a higher salary. So there are options, is what I'm saying. If you have gone down the niche area and you have been over promised and it's been under delivered, don't worry. Take a step back, look at where you're relevant, look at complementary spaces and industries that would really, really like to see someone with your experience. The second phone call that I got was from an unusual one for us, was someone from in-house, a senior position in-house, but is looking to go abroad. And I say it's unusual because overseas moves are typically easier within practice, especially at the more senior end. This particular person, very good experience, very good progression within their career. It crossed over a couple of different commercial industries that would be relatable overseas, and we discussed the opportunities that he would be looking at. What I said to this particular person was, firstly, look at countries where the industry that he's in currently are big. For his industry, we talked about the US, the UK, and Australia, which are the three biggest markets. There's going to be more opportunity. They're going to be very familiar with what the company he's working at does already. So focus on those areas. Then start to do your research. Start looking at the top 100 firms in those countries that do what you currently do. And then start to find out who the general counsels are and start approaching them on LinkedIn or via email. Contact them directly. The reason why I suggested that is because, in-house it kind of works better that way. Secondly, if you're looking to move, don't start looking to move and start looking at multiple different industries. You've got to look at the industry that will recognize what you are currently doing. Or maybe at a push, the industry that he was in a few years ago, slightly before this particular opportunity. And then be realistic. Be realistic about your income, realistic about where you'll live, and really just get talking. So unusual one in terms of moving in-house overseas, but certainly very, very doable. It's, as I always say, It's all about relevance. Go to a market, talk to people where they'll understand what you do, your background, and the industry that you're in. Be relevant.